Hi, I'm Ami from Ami's Art. This is a little short clip about how to draw realistic raven feathers. If you would like to draw the whole raven with me, you are welcome to join my Patreon. But let me explain what I'm doing. So I'm starting always to map out my darks and the main texture first. I'm using Luminance Dark Indigo for that. And you can see by varying the pressure a bit, I can already add a kind of shading and achieve lighter and darker areas. So this little shading gives me already a good idea of how my values need to be in the end. So where the darks are and where the lightest parts are. Yeah, and then you know it already, it's time to add color. So here is cobalt green, just adding it with light pressure as always. Ultramarine going in as well. Only the tip remains, pretty light with cobalt green. Bit more cobalt green. And ultramarine on the darker bits. I'm going immediately a bit darker. And finally, we of course also need delft blue. I'm going over one area several times, drawing a bit in circles, so it seems to be already blended immediately. But of course it's not really, but it's looking pretty smooth on me already. And that's good, because that means that we don't need to do much blending work, and we can keep those bright colors. Bit more ultramarine. So those feathers here are definitely a little bit more bluish than purplish. More delft blue going in, just shading and shading. Ultramarine on top. And more delft blue for this feather which is lying underneath the other ones. Going still darker with delft blue. Ultramarine. And then I'm finally using this time the Lightfast Arctic for blending. I think Luminance pencils would be too dark for this one. We can use them for the slightly darker feathers. So here is ultramarine violet, using them for the upper feathers, only for the lightest tips of course. For the darker end we can immediately use another color. Otherwise we would just lighten it up too much again. Back to Arctic for these very light tips. Delft blue, I forgot to add a bit of delft blue on here, on this feather, so doing this immediately. Ultramarine on top. Also helps to create a soft transition between darker and lighter parts.
So I'm adding it on top of my transition areas. Also on here. Cobalt green on top. And this is Polychromos Dark Indigo. I'm going darker with the darker bits, drawing in circles a bit again in order to apply colors as smooth as possible. Delft blue. Dark indigo. Delft blue. So I'm just layering these two colors over each other. And the more layers I add, the more it will turn out blended. And of course, we need to push our darks one more time. And I'm doing this right now using Luminance Dark Indigo again. And also again, with lighter pressure, I can let this very dark color fade out into the surrounding lighter tones. So more pressure for the very dark areas, very light pressure for the lighter areas, and to let the darks fade out. And then of course, if necessary, with Luminance Silver Grey I can also push my highlights, my subtle highlights of course.
And last but not least, for setting some very bright highlights, I'm using the so-called Uniball Poscar pen, which has Lightfast ink, and it's just a very easy method of adding bright and really white highlights. So you can see it definitely works nicely. Yeah, and this is also the end of my short clip. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I would really love to meet you on Patreon and teach you the whole Raven. So bye bye and see you there.